I know, I look pretty funny right now. Hey, what's up you guys? This is Haley here from Should You Buy It, and today we are actually going to be doing a first review slash, when I swatched it in the store, I was pretty impressed. A review on the Carli Bybel, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. BH Cosmetics just recently came to my Ulta. Not like super recently, but they haven't been in there for a very long time. So I was there today because I had 20% off. And I saw this palette, so I was like, oh, okay. You know, I did some research. She's a YouTuber, so I thought I would support another YouTuber. Just like with my shirt. My shirt, if you are wondering, is from Philip DeFranco. Yeah, so we're supporting each other. But, so I thought I would give this palette a try. This palette, which comes with 21 eyeshadow colors and a highlighting palette, 11 original shades plus 10 chic new shades and highlighter. So this is a highlighter and a eyeshadow palette. This is only $22. Now there is a smaller palette that I believe is just the eyeshadows for, if I'm not mistaken, $14. I could be wrong. I thought for $22 this is pretty good, especially compared to some of the higher brands, which just for like 12 eyeshadows you pay like $50 or $60. So I thought I would grab this and give this a try. This worked with my 20% off coupon, but that also worked with prestige brands. This will probably work with the $3.50 off of 15 coupon from Ulta, because I don't believe BH Cosmetics is a prestige brand with them. So it comes in this actually sleek packaging here. Very, very simple and elegant, so it kind of draws your eyes to it. There's just a little bit of texture onto it. This is all embossed in, and of course, you know, you have her name on it and everything. It slides open, and you get pretty much just the exact same as on the carton sleeve. This, they also consider the deluxe edition, so I'm guessing the highlighter one is, or the cheaper one is just the eyeshadows and does not include the highlighter. So when you do open up, you get all these gorgeous shades. So this is the Naked 2 palette by Urban Decay. You get 12 shades in here for $50. And then this is this one, which actually you get 15 eyeshadows for $22 plus the highlighter and etc. So to me, with the fake marble, and I know this is just plastic and this is more of a tin. I do like the tin a little better, but of course you do get what you paid for in product packaging. But this looks actually a lot nicer to me personally than the Urban Decay one. The Urban Decay does come with a brush. This one does not. Of course, these are two huge different price points, but honestly, if I ran out of both of them and I only could get one because price isn't an issue, quantity is, I'd probably get this one over the Naked palettes. Just a little price comparison. The only thing better about Naked is the physical tin, but with BH, you do get more eyeshadows. So, as you can tell on my face, I am baking underneath my eyes. I will be doing my entire face with just this palette. Now, I've already done foundation, concealer. I usually bake, then do blush, and then I powder, and then I do eyeshadow. So it's gonna look kind of funky here, but for me, how I would use this palette: highlighter, blush. I don't contour my face because it looks funky, and then you have some blush slash contours as well up here. So you can also include this as a contour, highlight, and blush palette. This is great for taking on the go, and especially if it does get broken, then you're only out a little bit of money, except for you're only out pretty much $22 for what you can't save instead of $50. So it does come with this plastic on the top, which we're going to take off. Oh, it's like taking the screen off of a new phone. You know what I mean? Like, so first of all, we're going to smell it. I can't put my tongue on what it doesn't smell bad. Does not smell chemically at all. Doesn't smell really like anything. Maybe it's just doesn't have any fillers in it, so it smells different than other cosmetics. Maybe like a foamy, either men's shave gel that's not that strong, or like maybe an aftershave. It's weird. It's weird. I can just picture foam as I've been trying to figure out what this smells like for the past like 5 minutes. Okay, so this is the brush that I do my blush with. It is washed and ready to go. So pretty much for my blush, I usually use the Makeup Revolution Blush Goddess palette. It's only $10 and it's super, super good. But of course we've got a blush in here. So we are going to dab on here. Okay, that's more iridescent than what I pictured it to be. So my first impression was that was more of a blush shade, but to me it's too iridescent slash highlightery to be a blush. So I'm not going to be using it. I have stepped into my Blush Goddess palette. So I am used to a highlighter that is more in the creamy tones. I usually use a mixture of these two from the Blush Goddess palette. For the highlights, we are going to be going into these big pans. I thought these would work first impression more as a contour, but they are iridescent as well. So it looks like all of these are iridescent. That's a lot of highlighter. I'm sorry, but like with this one, you have 4 iridescents and 4 mattes. And this one you have 6. And the pan sizes are pretty even. This was of course just $10 and this was $22. But so we're going to be going into this. We'll scrape across both of those side, and this does have a huge mirror on it. So we're using this. Okay. I'm gonna say off the top, these are not that like blinding. Let me jump into the white one. Maybe that'll help a tiny bit. Oh yeah. Bam. Okay. The white one is pretty good blinding wise. The others are not as poppy as I'm used to, especially with this palette. But you can just take the other ones, do a little bit, and then just one swipe over with the white, and it's bam, as you can see. Kind of disappointed in that fact, since I have seen other like cheaper, I guess, brands do really, really good highlighters. Wet n Wild has a really, really good highlighters that are like $5 a piece. Makeup Revolution. It's not bad, but I expected a little bit more from it. So I'm actually going to go into the other room. I'm going to finish powdering my face, prepping my eyeballs. I'll do my eyebrows while I'm in there, and then we will come and do our eyeshadow here in a tiny bit. I am back. I have finished powdering my face. I have done my eyebrows, and then I always use a eyeshadow primer. Right now I'm using the MAC Paint Pod in Ochre, just to let you guys know. And I just put a little bit on the lids. So after I put the primer on, I always like to do a base shadow so my other shadows blend easier. For that base shadow, I'm going to be using this color right here. They don't have names on them at all. We're going to be taking this color right here, and then we're just going to be patting it on the eye to kind of use that paint pod and actually have a base that is blendable. Right now, I can tell you, pigment-wise, there's a little bit of fallout, but mostly on the palette itself when I dip into it. I am not seeing a ton of fallout on my eyeballs. Here, I'll zoom you guys in. Uncomfortably. Bam. So I patted that on with a packed brush. And also, with all my makeup, I use a clean sweep makeup brush pad. It's like one of these little things. I got this at Ross, and it actually helps you get the pigment off of your brush after you're done using it. They're great. So the next color we are actually going to take in is we are going to take this color right here and kind of just put it on the lid and in the crease and just kind of brush it out a little bit. So what I usually do is I get a tiny bit on a packing brush, which is just like a flat brush, put it right in the crease, and then I take a clean blending brush and I just kind of go over it and blend it out. You can also dip your blending brush just a tiny bit in the color, which is what I've done, and to apply the color a little bit. This color is very neutral. It's not a extremely bright color, but with these nudes, I'm not looking for an extremely bright color. I'm looking for something that's more nude. So even though I wish it was a little bit, but I do believe it's not always necessary to have a ton of pigment. So we are not done just yet. I usually like to take a shimmer shade and put that on my lids. So here we are going to take this shade, obviously still no color or name, and we are going to be doing that on a packing brush, like another flat one. So we're just going to take into the shade. These are really creamy, and I know a little bit of fallout comes out when you do press your brush into it, but it's not a ton. It's not any more than what I see with a normal palette. So they're not extremely bad. I've had a lot of other palettes that have been a lot worse. So this is still pretty good in my eyes. Of course, I've never had a palette that didn't have any fallout when you put the product on the brush before. Okay, it's not patting. This shimmer color is not coming off at all. There we go. Okay. Okay. So with the shimmer color, you can't just pat. You have to brush it on. It's not that shimmery. No. It is something, but it's not as shimmery as it looks in the pan. So I have the eyeshadow part done, and I'm going to go do my eyeliner and my lipstick, and I will be back. Alright, so I have finished my eyeliner. I've put on lips. I have pretty much finished my makeup. Now this palette, you have to think about it. It is only $22. It's a huge steal, and it's also a cruelty-free brand, which is super, super nice, because even some of those more, like, expensive brands are not cruelty-free. As I have finished my look, I am actually super, super digging this look. I get married here in less than a year, and I have been looking for makeup looks that look really, really good with my skin tone, that are super easy to do. I might do my own makeup for my wedding. I might not. But as I have seen the finished product through this lens that you guys are looking at, I'm kind of digging these colors. The one thing is, it is not very packable onto the lid. That was the one thing about the shimmer color I did not like. It is not packable onto the lid at all. I mean, for $22, you get 21 shades. You pay less than $1 a shade, which is like something you would buy from Wet n Wild. I will keep this in my collection. It is not a extremely pigmented thing by all means. I guess I'm just going to do pros and cons. Pro, it is only $22. It's available in the States at Ulta. I'm not for sure if it's all Ultas or not, but you can pick it up in store, so it does not have to be shipped to you, or you can order it. You don't have to order this deluxe one. You can just order the eyeshadow palettes if you do not need a highlighter. You can just order your eyeshadows. It has great outside packaging. It's big. It's nice and sturdy. It has a mirror, and not just like an inky-dinky mirror like Naked does. Like, I can barely use this mirror. It has a nice big mirror you can actually see a lot of yourself in. That is a plus for me. There is tiny bit of fallout, what I would consider with any kind of palette. The colors are great. They're very, very blendable. They work well when you use a primer. I have not tried it without a primer, but I never use makeup without a primer on my face and on my eyelids. So that's something that's not, like, it doesn't work without primer or not, because I always do that no matter what. A con for this, it is a big palette. I'm pretty sure you can't buy the highlighters by themselves if you do like those more than the eyeshadow. I'm pretty sure you have to buy them with the eyeshadow. Of course, it is only $22. The shimmers, the highlighters, to me, I would have rather had a blush in there instead of 6 highlighters, or maybe a contour in there for people who do contour. You have really dark highlighters, and usually highlighters are not dark, so I don't understand that choosing. And I'm not talking about these 2 big ones. I'm talking about like these. Maybe for people who do have deeper skin tones, that would look a lot better on. I unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I'm white. I cannot test that out for myself, so they look really bad on my skin tone, but they might look great on somebody who has a lot darker of a skin tone, or who is African American. It might be tailored for them. So we get half the palette, and then they kind of get the other half as well, which is super great in their terms because they can sell to more people. This unicarton is great design-wise, and I do like the pattern, but when you scrape across some of these eyeshadows, you can't really clean it up very well. And let me zoom in to show you guys. I don't know if you can see this, but this is from me. You can see all that residue on there from me scraping across with my brush, and it does not want to come off right there. I'm not for sure if you can depot this. I am just now new into depotting because I had a tin smash on me in luggage. I had my Too Faced Sweet Chocolate palette get smashed in its tin. The tin got destroyed, and a couple eyeshadows did, not the whole thing, thank God. So I had to depot it. It was kind of a pain to depot, but I saw that the Too Faced palettes are the hardest to depot, and stuff in this plasticky or this papery kind of carton is the easiest. So this you probably can depot. I don't know if the pots are metal or not, so I cannot say anything about that. There's not a lot of cons to this. I wish the eyeshadows were a tiny bit more pigmented, but of course, when you do work with them and you do layer them like I have today, they do a really, really nice neutral look. They're not going to do anything super fancy or bright and bold. For bold colors, I have actually found off-brand Amazon palettes to be the best. I know that's weird, but like this look I did with an off-brand Amazon palette when I started to get more into makeup a couple years ago. I bought an off-brand Amazon palette for like 20 bucks, had like 56 colors in it. I did a white base and I did this look and it came out somehow. I don't know why, but that kind of just worked. I've never been able to have a prestige palette do that kind of color, but I don't use those colors a lot, so I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a prestige palette like that. I highly suggest this palette if you have a little girl who is maybe trying to get into makeup or who wants to copy mom. This would be something that you could get for her. I mean, it's 20 bucks. If she tears it up, she tears it up. If she doesn't, she's actually got something that is good for her face and is not going to break her out or anything. I have super sensitive skin. It did not make my skin do anything. My skin is fine right now. The eyeliner went on super smooth on top of it, so that wasn't a problem at all. This look was created today. You guys saw it with this palette. I'm loving this look for some weird reason. I don't know why. I'm also glad to say that this is another YouTuber. I will have her information down below. She's a beauty guru on here. I had not heard about her until today, but of course, hi Anna. Do you wanna talk about this palette? You do? Oh, have you come to join us? I'm happy at this palette. I have tried a couple other YouTubers' palettes and I wasn't as thrilled. I tried Nikki's palette with Too Faced and I just believe there was something off about that palette, especially with all of other Too Faced's palettes. This one hers seemed to be off. Like something was missing. Something was not the same. I love Too Faced and I do believe that every once in a while people have bad products, but it was just weird, and to connect that with a YouTuber who has millions of followers everywhere, it was off. But I really do like this product. I think she did a good job on this. I'm not for sure how old this palette even is, but I will have to say I really did like it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave those down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, join the Savings Army. Never pay retail again. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.